Welcome back to COCO Gossip, your number one source for the most exclusive and insider reports on the Sister Wives universe. The Brown family is in a state of unprecedented collapse, a kingdom crumbling into dust. But while 3 wives have walked away, leaving Kody Brown with only one, a shocking new rumor is exploding behind the scenes, one so audacious, so manipulative, it could redefine the entire Sister Wives saga. We're not talking about another argument over Coyote Pass or a new snarky comment from Christine. We're talking about a secret plan, a desperate last-ditch effort by Kody to secure his legacy and his one remaining queen. The whispers from Flagstaff are getting louder, and they're all saying the same thing. Kody and Robyn Brown are allegedly planning to have another child. A secret baby, conceived in the ashes of their plural family. This story is about to get wild, full of twists, exclusive theories, and reports you won't hear anywhere else. If you want to be the first to know the secrets the Browns don't want you to hear, do me a huge favor right now. Hit that like button, and more importantly, smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. You are not going to want to miss a single second of what we've uncovered. Trust me, the rabbit hole goes deeper than you can possibly imagine. Now, let's dive in. To understand the sheer gravity of this rumor, we have to first set the stage. The Brown family as we knew it is dead. Christine is gone, thriving in Utah with a new husband, a new life, and a renewed sense of self. Janelle, the stoic and independent force, finally reached her breaking point, choosing her children and her own financial stability over a loveless, platonic partnership with Kody. And Mary, after a decade of being emotionally exiled, has officially and finally closed the door on a relationship that was nothing more than a ghost. This leaves Kody with Robyn, the wife he was accused of favoring from the very beginning, the one who many viewers believe was the catalyst for the entire family's implosion. They are now, for all intents and purposes, living a monogamous life in their $1 million Flagstaff home, a fortress of solitude amidst the wreckage of their plural dream. On the surface, it's a story of failure. A man who preached the gospel of plural marriage, who wanted to build a dynasty, is now left with a single wife and a fractured relationship with most of his 18 children. You would think this would be a time for quiet reflection, for financial consolidation, for healing deep, deep wounds. You would be wrong. According to sources close to the family, sources who must remain anonymous to protect themselves from the notoriously controlling Brown patriarch, Kody's response to this catastrophic failure isn't humility, it's desperation. A desperation that has allegedly manifested in the most shocking way possible. A plot to bring a new life into this chaos. The first whispers began circulating in hyper-exclusive online forums, places where former friends and disgruntled Flagstaff locals share information far from the public eye. The chatter was about IVF and surrogacy. Initially, it was dismissed as fan fiction. After all, Robyn is in her mid-40s and Kody is in his mid-50s. While not impossible, having another biological child naturally would be a challenge. But the whispers weren't about a natural pregnancy. They were about a deliberate, medically assisted plan. The words IVF, fertility specialist, and even gestational carrier started to appear in hushed tones. This wasn't just a happy accident. This was allegedly a calculated move. And then came the evidence, or what online sleuths are calling the smoking gun. A fan, a dedicated Sister Wives viewer who happens to live in the Scottsdale, Arizona area, posted a detailed account of an alleged sighting. According to this report, Robyn Brown was seen entering a high-end, extremely private fertility clinic in Scottsdale, a place known for catering to wealthy clients who demand absolute discretion. The fan claimed Robyn was wearing large sunglasses and a hat, seemingly trying to go unnoticed, and that she was seen getting out of a familiar-looking large SUV, one that Kody has been seen driving. The report stated Kody did not go inside but was seen pacing nervously by the vehicle. Now we at COCO Gossip must stress, this isn't fan report. It could be a case of mistaken identity, it could be a fabrication. But let's analyze it. Scottsdale is a 2-hour drive from Flagstaff, the perfect distance for a private appointment you don't want your local community to know about. A high-end fertility clinic is exactly where someone with the Browns' reality TV money would go for such a sensitive procedure. And the behavior, the disguise, the nervous pacing, it all fits a narrative of secrecy. This sighting, whether real or not, acted as gasoline on the fire of the initial whispers. It gave a time, a place, and a tangible action to the abstract rumor. Suddenly, the theory of a secret baby plan didn't seem so far-fetched. It seemed plausible. But why? Why in the middle of this financial and emotional firestorm would Kody and Robyn even consider this? This is where we have to delve into the core incident anchor of this entire theory, Kody's deep pathological obsession with his own legacy. For 17 seasons, we have watched Kody Brown define his entire existence by his role as a patriarch and a procreator. His identity is inextricably linked to being the head of a massive family, a king ruling over his kingdom. He has spoken countless times about his posterity, his lineage, and his desire to fill the celestial kingdom with his offspring. Remember his infamous quote, "I feel like I'm a battleship. I have to have a fleet behind me." Well, his fleet has been sunk. 3 of his main vessels have mutinied and sailed away. For a man like Kody, this isn't just a divorce, it's an existential crisis. He has lost control, he has lost his status. In his mind, he is no longer the powerful patriarch he once was. So what does a narcissist do when their carefully constructed world collapses? They don't self-reflect. They rebuild their power base, often in a more concentrated, more controllable form. A new baby with Robyn is not just a child. It is a symbol. It's Kody planting his flag in the ground and declaring, "My kingdom is not dead. It is reborn here with my true and loyal queen." It's a way for him to prove to himself and to the world that he is still a virile, powerful patriarch capable of creating life and building a family, even if it's a much smaller, monogamous version of his original dream. A new baby would be the ultimate validation of his new life with Robyn. It would be a living, breathing testament to the success of their singular union, a way to paper over the glaring failures of his other 3 marriages. This brings us to the most sickening, most heart-wrenching part of this entire alleged plot, the betrayal. This is the twist that turns a desperate plan into an act of profound cruelty. While Kody and Robyn were allegedly researching fertility options that can cost tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, what was happening with the other wives? Let's take a look. Christine, upon leaving Kody, had to sell her home in Flagstaff and use her own savings and cameo money to finance her move back to Utah and start her life over. She was financially on her own. Janelle, a woman who had poured her entire financial life into the family pot for decades, found herself with so little independent capital that she was forced to live in an RV on the barren Coyote Pass property, struggling with plumbing, heating, and the basic dignities of stable housing. Kody offered her little to no financial support, instead mocking her living situation and pressuring her to use her own funds to build on land that was legally entangled. And Mary, who helped finance the family's early life with her own career, was left in a state of financial and emotional limbo for years, all while Kody and Robyn enjoyed a sprawling home filled with expensive collectibles from their trips. The sheer callousness of this juxtaposition is staggering. Imagine Janelle sitting in her cold RV, worried about how she's going to afford her next move. While just a few miles away, Kody and Robyn are allegedly on a laptop, browsing the price list for IVF cycles. Imagine Christine scraping together everything she has to build a new, independent life for her and Truly, while the man who is still legally Truly's father is allegedly planning to divert massive family resources she and the other wives helped build, into creating a new child with his favorite wife. It's a betrayal that transcends the emotional. It's a financial betrayal of the highest order. For decades, the Brown family operated under a principle of the family pot. All income was pooled and distributed according to need. That money, earned through the hard work of all 4 wives and their reality TV show contracts, was used to buy the land at Coyote Pass. It was supposed to be a shared investment, a legacy for all 18 children. But now, with the family dissolved, the distribution of those assets is a contentious mess. If Kody and Robyn were to spend a significant sum, say $50,000 or $100,000, on fertility treatments or surrogacy, where is that money coming from? Is it coming from the family pot that Janelle and Mary still technically have a stake in? Is it money that should be going towards the development of Coyote Pass so the ex-wives can finally get their share of the equity they are owed? This isn't just about a baby. It's about asset allocation. It's about Kody allegedly taking what remains of the family's collective wealth and investing it solely in his new life with Robyn, effectively robbing the other women and their children of their rightful inheritance. It is the ultimate financial spit in the face. It's him saying, everything we built together for 30 years doesn't matter, only my future with Robyn matters, and I will burn the rest of the family's resources to the ground to fund it. This is the cold, hard financial reality that makes this rumor so utterly devastating, and for many, so believable. It aligns perfectly with Kody's demonstrated pattern of behavior, prioritizing Robyn's needs and wants above all others, regardless of the cost to the rest of the family. Now, let's explore the theory further, because it gets even more strategic and manipulative. The theory posits that a new baby isn't just about Kody's legacy, it's about Robyn's security. It's an attempt to lock Robyn in as the permanent, undisputed legal wife in a way that nothing else can. Think about it. Right now, Kody and Robyn are legally married, but Kody has a history of being fickle. His affections have shifted before. What's to stop him 10 years from now from growing bored and seeking another spiritual wife? What's to stop him from having a midlife crisis and deciding this monogamous life isn't for him? A new child changes everything. A baby, especially a baby conceived through great effort and expense like IVF, creates a bond that is, for all practical purposes, permanent. It ties Kody to Robyn for at least the next 18 years. It solidifies her position, not just as his wife, but as the mother of his youngest children, the center of his universe, the matriarch of the new Brown family. It makes it infinitely more difficult, legally and emotionally, for Kody to ever leave her. It's the ultimate insurance policy. With Solomon and Ariella getting older, Robyn's leverage as the mother of the young children who need their father's constant presence is diminishing year by year. A new baby resets that clock. It guarantees her another 2 decades of being the primary focus of Kody's time, energy, and, most importantly, his money. This move would effectively erase the legacy of the other wives in Kody's daily life. A new baby would demand all his attention. There would be no time left to even pretend to foster relationships with his older children from the other marriages. It would be the final nail in the coffin of the plural family and the first foundation stone of the Kody and Robyn monogamous dynasty. It's a power move designed to secure Robyn's future and Kody's ego, all built on the backs of the women he left behind. Furthermore, let's consider the narrative control this would give them on the show. Sister Wives is currently a show about divorce. It's about the fallout, the bitterness, and the blame. But a Miracle Baby storyline would completely shift the focus. It would allow Kody and Robyn to rebrand themselves. They would no longer be the villains who destroyed a family. They would be the resilient couple who found true love amidst the chaos and were blessed with a new life, a symbol of their enduring bond. It's a producer's dream. It's a way to inject new life into a dying show and change the public perception of the last couple standing. They could frame it as a story of hope and rebirth, a testament to their true love, while conveniently ignoring the fact that this rebirth was financed by the ashes of their former family. And we're seeing clues of this narrative shift already. In recent interviews and tell-all segments, Kody has been attempting to rewrite history. He's been painting his relationships with Christine, Janelle, and Mary as flawed from the start, as business arrangements rather than true love. He's trying to position his relationship with Robyn as the only authentic soulmate connection he ever had. A new baby would be the ultimate punctuation mark on that sentence. It would be the physical embodiment of his revised history. See, he could argue, this is what a real marriage looks like. It creates new life. The other marriages couldn't last because they weren't real like this one. It's a deeply cynical and manipulative strategy, but it's one that is entirely consistent with the Kody Brown we have come to know. Let's also not forget Robyn's role in all of this. While Kody's ego and legacy are prime motivators, Robyn has always positioned herself as the most fertile and maternally focused of the wives. Her entire identity in the family was built around being Kody's youngest, most compliant wife and the mother of his youngest children. She often spoke of her dark-haired boy, a spirit baby she felt was waiting to come to their family. For years, viewers have speculated about whether this was a genuine spiritual belief or a tool of manipulation, a way to keep Kody's attention and resources focused on her. If this baby plan is real, it could be seen as the ultimate fulfillment of that long-held narrative. It would be Robyn, once again, gifting Kody with a child, reinforcing her value to him in the most primal way possible. But the darker side of this theory is that Robyn is just as desperate as Kody. Her security is tied completely to him. Unlike the other wives, she has not demonstrated a strong ability or desire to be financially independent. Her lifestyle is funded by Kody and the show. If Kody were to leave her, she would be in a very precarious position. A new baby secures her financial future. It ensures the child support, the spousal support, and the moral obligation from Kody for the next 18 years. It's a pragmatic, if ruthless, move to ensure her own survival in the post-polygamy world she helped create. The sheer audacity of it all is what makes it so compelling and so horrifying. The idea that in the face of their family's public and painful disintegration, their first thought wasn't reconciliation or therapy or equitable division of assets, but instead to double down on their isolated world by bringing another innocent child into it. It speaks to a level of self-absorption and a detachment from reality that is truly breathtaking. It's a plan that serves no one but Kody's ego and Robyn's security, and it does so at the direct expense of the 17 other children and 3 other women who are still reeling from the emotional and financial fallout of the family's collapse. Think about the existing children. How would Gwendolyn, who has been openly critical of Robyn, feel? How would Garrison and Gabriel, who are completely estranged from their father, react to the news that he is starting a new family after effectively abandoning them? How would Savannah, who spent her last year at home feeling like a guest in Robyn's house, process her father having a new baby to dote on? It would be the ultimate act of abandonment, a clear signal that Kody is moving on and creating a replacement family, one that is more to his liking, one that is more obedient and less challenging than the one he already has. The potential for further psychological damage to his already traumatized children is immense. And so we are left with a web of whispers, a single sighting, and a mountain of psychological and circumstantial evidence that makes this shocking rumor feel disturbingly real. It's a story of ego, betrayal, and a desperate grab for control. It's a theory that, if true, would recontextualize the entire Sister Wives narrative, transforming it from a tragedy about a failed plural family into a sinister tale of a calculated takeover. The pieces are all there: the desperate patriarch, the insecure final wife, the financial chaos, and the insatiable need for a public redemption story. But the fertility clinic sighting is only one piece of the puzzle. There are other whispers, other insider reports that suggest this plan might be even further along than we think, involving secret agreements and timelines that are truly shocking. Is Sister Wives about to add another child? Or is it about to detonate its biggest scandal yet? The answer might lie in recent cryptic social media posts and quiet movements in Flagstaff that we are only now beginning to connect. We are back, and the rabbit hole of the Brown family's secret baby plot goes so much deeper than a single alleged visit to a fertility clinic. What we've discussed so far is merely the tip of the iceberg, the tremor before the earthquake. The whispers out of Flagstaff aren't just about if Kody and Robyn are planning a child, but how and how soon. Exclusive theories, pieced together from dozens of fragmented insider reports, paint a picture of a plan so detailed, so premeditated, that it will chill you to the bone. To truly understand the potential magnitude of this scandal, we need to move beyond the clinic sighting and examine the breadcrumb trail of clues that has been left behind, a trail that leads directly to a shocking and recently uncovered development. Let's revisit that Scottsdale clinic. While the initial report placed Robyn there, subsequent chatter from sources who claim to have connections in the high-end Arizona medical community suggests the purpose of that visit might have been misunderstood. These insiders, speaking on the condition of absolute anonymity, are suggesting it wasn't about assessing Robyn's own fertility. It was allegedly a consultation for embryo creation and genetic testing, the necessary first steps before engaging a gestational surrogate. This is a critical distinction. Planning for IVF with the intention of carrying the baby herself is one thing, but planning for surrogacy is a multi-stage, legally complex, and astronomically expensive process. It involves lawyers, contracts, psychological evaluations, and, of course, a third party, the surrogate herself. This suggests a level of planning and financial commitment far beyond a simple, let's try and see what happens approach. It elevates the rumor from a desperate whim to a full-blown logistical operation. This brings us to digital forensics. In today's world, secrets are hard to keep, and the digital footprints we leave can tell a story we never intended to share. Our team of dedicated researchers at COCO Gossip has spent weeks performing a deep dive into the social media activity of not just Kody and Robyn, but their close relatives and known friends in the Flagstaff area. And we found something interesting. A few months ago, an account belonging to a distant relative of Robyn briefly liked a post from a prominent surrogacy agency based in Southern California. The post was a generic thank you to their gestational carriers. The like was removed within hours, but not before it was screenshotted by an eagle-eyed fan. On its own, this is meaningless, a misclick, a curious browse. But in the context of the clinic sighting and the insider whispers, it becomes a potential corroborating piece of evidence. Why would someone in Robyn's orbit be suddenly interested in the online content of a major surrogacy agency? Was it a message, a slip-up, or was she doing research on their behalf? The rabbit hole deepens. We've also received a tip about Robyn's private Pinterest account, which is reportedly locked down tighter than Fort Knox. A source who claims to have once been in her small circle of approved followers alleges that before the account was made completely private, there was a secret board titled God's Timing. This source claims the board, once filled with inspirational quotes and home decor ideas, began to feature pins related to newborn clothing, high-end nursery designs, and even articles about welcoming a miracle baby later in life. Again, this is a report about a now inaccessible account, but it fits the pattern. It suggests a mindset, a preparation, a quiet planning phase happening behind the carefully curated walls of their million-dollar mansion. And then there's the financial trail. While we don't have access to the Browns' bank statements, we do have sources who have observed the family's financial patterns for years. One such source, an individual with insight into the Flagstaff real estate and financial scene, has reported a strange shift in the Browns' known financial behavior. They allege that Kody, who was once obsessed with leveraging every penny to develop Coyote Pass, has gone completely silent on the project. There have been no new permit applications, no meetings with contractors, nothing. This source theorizes that Kody and Robyn are quietly consolidating their liquid assets. The money that should be earmarked for developing the property that Janelle and Mary have a significant financial stake in, is allegedly being held in reserve. For what? A down payment on a new house? A new sports car for Kody? Or could it be for a substantial 5 to 6 figure down payment required to retain a top-tier surrogacy agency and begin the legal and medical process? The inaction on Coyote Pass, when viewed through this lens, is no longer just an act of spite against his ex-wives. It becomes a strategic financial maneuver to fund his new dream, using the money from the old one. This intricate web of alleged evidence points to one conclusion. If this is happening, it is a master plan, years in the making, and we must delve into the twisted psychology that would drive such a scheme. Let's start with Kody. We need to understand that for Kody, this is not just about having another baby. It is the ultimate act of revenge. Christine left him and found spectacular happiness, a public refutation of his patriarchal authority. She is universally beloved, while he is widely seen as the villain. Janelle left him for her children, proving his influence over his own family was weaker than their love for their mother. Mary finally walked away, closing the book on a 30-year history. In Kody's mind, he has been humiliated, abandoned, and emasculated on a global stage. A narcissist in this position does not seek reconciliation. They seek vindication. A new baby with Robyn is his ultimate "I'll show you." It's a way for him to scream to the world, and more specifically to his ex-wives, "You didn't leave me. You were cast out because you weren't worthy. You couldn't provide me with this kind of happiness, this kind of real family. I am the prize, and look, I am creating a new, better family without you. You are irrelevant." Every photo of the new baby would be a dagger to his exes. Every milestone would be a public declaration of his newfound happiness, a happiness he would frame as impossible to achieve with them. It is a profoundly cruel and calculated way to inflict ongoing emotional pain on the women he once promised to love and protect for eternity. It's not just building a new legacy, it's a scorched earth campaign to erase the old one. and we cannot discount Kody's messianic complex. This is a man who genuinely seems to believe he is a figure of biblical importance. He has compared himself to King Solomon. He speaks of his celestial kingdom. For a man with such a grandiose self-image, having a child in his mid-50s after the collapse of his family wouldn't be a midlife crisis. It would be a sign from God. He could, and likely would, frame it as a divine endorsement of his decision to consolidate his life with Robyn. He would see it as proof that God favors their union, that they are the chosen ones destined to carry the Brown family name into the future. This miracle baby would become the centerpiece of his personal mythology, a living symbol of his righteousness and a condemnation of the wives who lost faith and abandoned the principle. He would become Abraham, having a child in his old age as a testament to his faith and virility. The narrative writes itself, and it is a narrative Kody Brown would find absolutely irresistible. From a purely pragmatic business perspective, a baby is a genius move for the brand of Kody and Robyn. The Sister Wives show is on life support. How many more seasons can they wring out of the divorce narrative? The bitterness and resentment will eventually get stale. But a baby is a ratings goldmine. A surrogacy journey is even better. It's a built-in multi-season storyline full of medical drama, emotional highs and lows, and a triumphant birth episode. It would allow Kody and Robyn to seize control of the show's narrative, shifting the focus away from their past failures and onto their hopeful future. It's a complete rebrand. They would position themselves as the heroes of their own story, battling the odds to bring a new life into the world, all while being attacked by a bitter public and jealous ex-wives. It's a strategic masterstroke to secure their TLC paychecks for years to come, ensuring the money keeps flowing to fund their isolated lifestyle in Flagstaff. Now, we must turn our attention to Robyn. To paint her as a passive participant in this alleged scheme would be a grave misjudgment. All the evidence suggests she may not just be a co-conspirator, she could very well be the architect. Let's analyze her motives, which are as complex and arguably as selfish as Kody's. For over a decade, Robyn's power within the Brown family was derived from a single, unassailable position. She was the mother of the tender-aged children. This was her shield and her sword. It was the justification for Kody spending more time at her house. It was the reason her needs often superseded the needs of the other wives and their older children. It was her checkmate move in any family argument. But that power has a shelf life. Solomon and Ariella are growing up. They are now 12 and 8 years old. Soon they will be teenagers, independent and less reliant on their mother's constant supervision. As her children age, Robyn's tender-aged leverage disappears. She risks becoming just another middle-aged wife, her special status diminished. A new baby, however, resets the clock entirely. It gives her another 18 years of having the tender-aged child. It guarantees that Kody's focus, his time, and his resources will remain firmly planted in her home. It is the ultimate insurance policy against becoming another Mary, left alone in a big house while Kody's attention wanders. A new baby isn't just a child, it's a re-upping of her ironclad contract on Kody's life. This reinforces the queen bee theory that so many viewers have subscribed to for years. Robyn didn't just want to be one of Kody's wives, she wanted to be the wife. She systematically, whether consciously or subconsciously, dismantled the plural family structure until she was the only one left standing. A new baby is her coronation. It is the ultimate symbol of her victory. It would make her the undisputed matriarch of the new Brown dynasty. She would be the mother of the youngest heir, the one who gave the king a new legacy when all others had failed him. It is a power move of breathtaking audacity, cementing her status and ensuring that her children and her children alone will be the primary inheritors of whatever remains of the Brown family fortune and legacy. And we must revisit the story of the spirit baby, the dark-haired boy Robyn has mentioned on the show. For years, this was presented as a sweet spiritual conviction, but in light of this new rumor, it takes on a much more sinister tone. Was it really a spiritual premonition? Or was it a brilliant long-term manipulation tactic? A narrative she seeded into Kody's mind years ago, a story she could pull out of her back pocket at the most opportune moment. Imagine the scene. The family is collapsing. Kody is in a spiral of despair, his legacy in tatters. And then Robyn comes to him and says, "Kody, don't you remember? The dark-haired boy is still waiting for us. This isn't the end. It's the new beginning God has planned for us all along. It's a powerful, emotionally manipulative narrative that would appeal directly to Kody's ego and his religious grandiosity. It reframes their catastrophic failure as a divinely ordained trial they had to endure to finally be ready for their true destiny, their miracle baby. It's a story so perfect, it's hard to believe it wasn't planned. The final piece of Robyn's motivation is perhaps the most chilling: the complete and total isolation of Kody Brown. A newborn baby, especially one born via surrogate, which might come with a host of complex medical and emotional needs, requires all-consuming attention. A new baby would be the perfect, unassailable excuse for Kody to sever his final, fraying ties to his other children. "Sorry, Garrison, I can't meet to reconcile our differences. The baby has colic." "Sorry, Savannah, I can't make it to your graduation. Robyn needs me here with the newborn." It would become a wall between Kody and his past, a wall that Robyn would control the gate to. She would finally have what she always seemed to want: Kody all to herself, unburdened by the demands and dramas of his other inconvenient families. She wouldn't just be his legal wife, she would be his entire world, his jailer dressed as a Madonna. Which brings us to the most recent and most explosive piece of this puzzle: the fake news that feels terrifyingly real. A new insider report has surfaced in the last few weeks, one so specific it has sent shockwaves through the Sister Wives truth seeker community. This report does not come from a fan sighting or a vague acquaintance. It allegedly comes from a source with loose connections to a legal firm in the Phoenix area. This source claims that a preliminary legal inquiry was made on behalf of a high-profile reality TV couple from northern Arizona. The inquiry was not about divorce or real estate, the usual business for the Browns. According to this report, the inquiry was about drafting a gestational surrogacy contract. Let's break down what this means. A surrogacy contract is an incredibly complex legal document. It covers parental rights, medical decisions, financial compensation for the surrogate, confidentiality clauses, and a host of other sensitive issues. You do not inquire about drafting one unless you are serious. This is not idle curiosity. This is a preparatory step for a major life and legal event. The source further alleged that the inquiry specified a desire for the contract to be ironclad and to include a multi-million-dollar non-disclosure agreement for the chosen surrogate, a clear sign that they are desperate to control the story and prevent any leaks. This alleged legal inquiry is the potential missing link that ties everything together. The whispers of IVF, the Scottsdale clinic visit, maybe for embryo creation, the social media slip-ups, the financial consolidation, it all points towards this. It suggests the Browns, or at least Kody and Robyn, have moved past the what-if stage and into the how-to stage. They are allegedly taking concrete, actionable steps to make this baby a reality. This is no longer a theory about a potential future. It's a report about a plan that may already be in motion. This new information forces us to re-examine the timeline. For months, we've assumed this was a recent idea, a reaction to the final divorces. But what if this has been the endgame all along? What if the plan was hatched years ago and they were simply waiting for the other wives to be out of the picture to execute it? It paints a picture of a long con, a secret plan between Kody and Robyn that predates the final splits, making their behavior over the last few years seem even more duplicitous and cruel. They weren't just neglecting their other families, they were actively planning their replacement. The implications are staggering. If they proceed, they will be bringing a child into a maelstrom of public hatred and family strife. That child will be born a symbol, not of love, but of division, betrayal, and revenge. It will be born into a family where half of its siblings are estranged from its father. It will grow up knowing that its very existence caused immeasurable pain to other people, including its own brothers and sisters. It is an act of profound selfishness to create a life not for the child's sake, but to serve the broken egos of its parents. So where does that leave us? We are standing on the precipice of what could be the biggest scandal in Sister Wives history. We have a mountain of circumstantial evidence, from sightings and insider whispers to digital breadcrumbs and alleged legal inquiries. It all points in one horrifying direction. The narrative is clear: a desperate patriarch terrified of his own irrelevance, and a masterful queen determined to secure her throne are allegedly embarking on a secret plot to conceive a miracle baby. A baby that will serve as Kody's legacy, Robyn's security, and their joint revenge against the family they left in ruins. They are allegedly prepared to burn through the family's remaining resources, betray the trust of their other children, and manipulate their television audience to achieve their goal. The final question is no longer if they would do it, but when will they announce it? Is the surrogacy contract already being drafted? Are they already interviewing potential carriers? Is the next season of Sister Wives going to open with Robyn and Kody sitting on that ugly brown couch, holding up an ultrasound picture and telling the world about their blessed new beginning? Will the ex-wives, Christine, Janelle, and Mary, be forced to learn about the new sibling for their children from a press release or a TLC special? The betrayal is almost too immense to comprehend. The story is far from over. In fact, it feels like it's just beginning. And we at COCO Gossip will be watching every move, listening to every whisper, and connecting every dot. Make sure you are subscribed with all notifications turned on, because we believe a confirmation or a denial of the story is coming, and it's going to break the internet when it does. You will not want to be the last to know.